Hello YouTube, it's Alston with the SecurityCameraGuy.com, and today I'm going to answer the question that I've seen come up pretty frequently online. And that question is, what is the average viewing angle of a security camera? I'm going to talk a little bit about the background first, and then I'll make sure I answer the question. Alright, so what is the average viewing angle of a security camera? In order to get an idea of what the average is, what the average should be, let's understand what the viewing angle is. And basically what the viewing angle is the area, the degree we'll say, at which the security camera can see images, it can record, it can view night vision, because sometimes that's actually a little bit different, but it's actually the degree in which the lens of the camera can see. And so when you think about it, to get a rough idea, if you hold your hand up like an L, that's about a 90-degree angle. Also, if you look at an angle of a wall, that should be about 90 degrees. If it's less than 90, it's probably going to be between 30 and 90. But obviously with a security camera, you want wider, as wide of a viewing angle as you can get. But a lot of things play into the factor of the viewing angle. For example, the camera enclosure can have a lot to do with it. You can have a camera that starts off being, maybe 300 degrees, but the casing in which the camera comes in, that's going to restrict it a lot. If the the enclosure is raised a little bit, if it peeks out further than the camera lens itself, then it's going to greatly reduce the camera angle. Another thing that reduces the lens or the camera angle is the lens location. When you're thinking about high versus low, also again how far set back it is versus the placement in the enclosure, these all have different impacts or effects on the viewing angle. And so knowing those things, another actually thing that plays into it is the type of camera itself. If you're familiar with security cameras, you know that there are dome cameras, there are bullet cameras, there are like lipstick cameras. There are, I would say, probably 6 or 7 different types of security cameras themselves. If you have a camera that's a pan tilt zoom, or it's given the initials PTZ, that obviously is going to have a wider viewing angle because it can pan, tilt, and zoom. Usually those out of 360 degrees is probably going to be about 350. Some of the more advanced ones, and if you flip it upside down, you could probably achieve the 360, but a pan tilt zoom security camera is going to have a wider viewing angle than some of the other ones. So now that we have talked about it, let's take a look at about the average viewing angle, and this can actually vary a little bit based on if it's a video doorbell, if it's a commercial security camera. Some of those things also have a play into it. So the average, I'm going to say, is probably somewhere between 75 and 85 degrees. Obviously that can vary a lot depending on the product. For example, if you look at the Blink XT camera, that has 110 degrees, so that's a little bit larger than the 90-degree angle I showed you. If you look at like the Arlo Pro 2, that has 130 degrees. And if you think about if you just get a visual idea of how these cameras are set up, it gives you an idea of the viewing angle. Another example is the Waze camera. It has a 110-degree viewing angle. However, the Zomato wireless security camera has only an 81-degree angle. And a lot of that has to do with the technology. It has to do with the actual enclosure itself, and even the purpose. If you were going to put a security camera on in place of a doorbell, it doesn't need to view 360 degrees. It only really needs to view maybe 180 at most. So you have to kind of consider some of those things as well. Placement, functionality, some of the features that are included. These are all things that go into how the viewing angle. Sometimes you have to sacrifice the viewing angle to have additional features like motion detection or the two-way communication. Because the security cameras are only so big, the actual enclosures, designers do have to make some design modifications and have to reduce some of those things. But again, the viewing angle, I'm going to say probably between 75 and 85. One interesting thing is the cost of a camera does not necessarily have an impact on the viewing angle and vice versa. The viewing angle does not have a cost. One of the cheapest or least expensive cameras, the Waze camera, has 110 viewing angle, whereas the Ring Spotlight camera has 140 degree angle. And that's going to be a little bit more pricey. So definitely check out the website, thesecuritycameraguy.com, if you have any additional questions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to learn different tips and tricks in security cameras and all of that good stuff. So this is Alston. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.